I mean, remember what Peter did. He denied 3 times that he knew the Lord. I mean, he just flat out lied about knowing Jesus. Every sin you've ever committed is in essence a denial of Jesus Christ. Not just one time in the pressure of the moment did he say, I don't know who you're talking about. I've never known him. But 3 times. And that last time, Jesus, the scripture says, turns from where he is, covered in blood, and looks at Peter. The same Peter who had boasted he would die for him. He'd fight till the death. How many know what Judas did when he denied Jesus? He didn't come back toward him. He hung himself in remorse. And Peter is just as remorseful. And maybe in some ways Peter feels even worse than Judas did. But there's hope down in there somewhere. Hope is there, but it's covered up with a rock of grief. It's covered up with a rock of despair. It's covered up with a great big stone of guilt. And so he's wrestling with this. And one night he simply says, I'm going fishing. I'm going back to what I know. I'm going back to a good hardened man's night of work. When he goes out there, they work all night long and nothing. When John says it's the Lord, Peter makes a beautiful decision. I'm going to him. So he leaves them to bring the fish in. He jumps in the water with his coat on, swims, gets there, comes up out of the water. He's cold, he's shivering, not just from the chill of the early morning air, but he's chilled in his soul. And there's a fire there. And Jesus beckons him to come. When he comes close to the fire, he smells something. Only 2 times in the New Testament is the word charcoal used. It's used twice by John to describe first the fire Peter warmed himself over while he denied Christ. Now it describes this fire that Jesus has prepared for Peter. Significant because charcoal has a smell. Charcoal has a distinct smell. So when Jesus has prepared this fire, Peter steps up to it to warm himself. He is immediately affronted with the smell of his shame. Wow. Immediately, Jesus has set the scene to remind Peter of the place of his denial. Wow. But that is not Jesus rubbing his nose in it. If you know the rest of the story, it is Jesus helping Peter get free from it. Because you can never be free from something you're ignoring. Jesus set the whole scene to restore Peter.